Good morning and welcome to ER. This is Emotional Response. This is Life Coaching with Ink. This is Ivory. How you doing today? I am really excited. I'm really pumped. I hope everyone had a beautiful weekend and just got to enjoy life a lot more. We covered a heavy topic last week on trauma, and now we're doing another special guest, a couple that I was privileged enough to come across. We crossed paths, and I'm excited to share them with the rest of the world. We're up now to 800 downloads in 3 months, and I'm pumped. I'm pumped because we're reaching a lot of people, and I think it's awesome. And I feel like as much as I know it's a lot of people that know a lot more than me. And so that's my purpose of having special guests, and I would like to introduce them. So right now, we'd like to introduce Blake and Charday.
Hello. What's going on, everybody?
Before we start the interview, I wanted to just do a little snippet and Blake share the brand that he's building with everyone, so you can log in and check out his brand and everything that he's doing.
Yes, so my name is Blake Melvin. I'm a spoken word poet out of West Philadelphia, and right now I'm just taking all my experience and all the tools I'm learning on my journey and putting in the art to give to other people. You can catch me at BlakeMelvin.com, which is my website, or my Instagram, The Blake Melvin Show.
Awesome. Great. Okay. Awesome. So this is what we're doing today. We're going to be talking about single life, the player phase, and relationships. And this couple, I feel like, is very impacting because they went through each phase almost together through all three phases, and whether it was good or bad, the fact that they went through is just awesome. I'm a firm believer in life having valleys, and so every valley that you drop into, there's a hill to climb up to and plateau on. So just going through the journey with someone makes life a lot more worthwhile, and you know that you're not alone. And the emotional wellness component comes in because we are not wired to be by ourselves. We are not wired to be a man on an island alone. So before I go into my questions, if they could, Blake and Charday could share a little snippet about their relationship in general.
Okay, you want to start?
I wouldn't know how to our relationship in general. It's regular.
Yeah, I mean, so we do everything with each other. We mostly, yeah.
We just live.
We found at least me. Let me not say we, but me. I found it better hanging out with her because I have a lot of friends, right? And I used to spend a lot of time with a lot of my friends, but I don't know. I was just finding more at peace when I hang out with her. And I mean, we just be cooling. Like we take trips, we hang out. She support me, I support her. I think we just a regular couple trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
She's shy, y'all.
I don't know what to say.
But I'm glad she's still being a part of the interview. So, you know what I mean? When you do feel inspired to share, just be like, hold up, y'all.
Yeah, like a more in-depth question maybe, because I don't know how to describe the relationship. Oh, a more in-depth question maybe, because I don't really know how to describe the relationship, just like describing it. Like,
how did y'all meet?
Twitter.
Yeah.
New age relationships.
Yeah. And he was in Maryland at the time.
Yeah, he was.
And I was still here, but he's from Philly. So
okay,
it worked out though, cause she was able to fly for free, so she would come see me. But how we met, I had to actually pursue her, right? Because like I seen her on Twitter, and I was like, she caught my interest, so I sent her a DM. I think I was like, yo, let's hang out sometime. And
No.
know what I say?
It was like something on the timeline, like asking me to hang out.
Okay, I didn't send a DM. I sent on your timeline.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, oh, let's hang out sometime.
Letting everybody else know. Like,
I'm putting my spag at it.
I don't even think
But
you cared.
it didn't work out. She didn't. What you say? Because you didn't even tell me she was dating somebody at the time, but she told me the second tweet. Because I got at a different occasion. It was.
I think I said, because you said you was with other people and you wanted to hang out. And I was like, well, I'm at my mom's house and I don't really have like a hangout. So like, where would you be coming to hang out or something like that? And then so that was chalked. And then the next time, I had told him like, oh, I'm in a relationship, because he was trying to hang out with me himself.
Yeah.
So I was like,
okay.
yeah.
I try to bring the people first to not make it seem like, all the pressure. I'm like, oh, it's just we cool and everybody.
Right.
But she wasn't with it. So I'm like, well, let's see if I just go one-on-one. But then she was like, no, I got the dude. So that was cool. I'm like, all right, she got a dude. Left it alone. I disappeared into my life in Maryland. And then it was New Year's. Was it New Year's? What holiday was it? 4th of July?
Before then, actually. It was like a couple days.
Couple days before that. Yeah, so it was around then.
Was it after Christmas? I don't even know if Christmas happened. What was I doing for Christmas?
I don't remember. Was it a holiday? Or just around a holiday?
It was around the holiday. It was either before Christmas or after Christmas, but it was before New Year's.
Okay. And that's when I was like, I think I was on Twitter one day just bored, right? I was like, oh, nobody got the moves. I wish somebody I could talk to or whatever. And then she finally responded to me. What you?
Yeah, it was like a year or something after that.
Yeah, after I initially got at it. Yeah, and I think
I just put emoji eyes.
Right.
Okay.
And emoji eyes.
That's all I needed.
That was a big.
I was like, because to me it was crazy, because it's like, dang, I just like got at this girl a year ago. Like she caught my interest, but paid me no mind. She had to do. I disappeared. Didn't press it. So for her to be the one to come back up when nobody else responded to the tweet, it was crazy. I don't know. So we started talking. We swapped numbers.
Yeah.
And then we just started texting every single hour. You know what I mean? And
Did you know at that point, like, I'm done with single life, or
no?
It was like, oh, okay, that's fair.
So to me, honestly, it was more just like, okay, somebody new that caught my interest, but she really caught my interest
because she was interested a year ago.
Yeah,
so it was like, yo.
And the thing was too, the crazy thing about the Twitter was is because of what she was tweeting, why she caught my interest. And I'm like, all right, she seemed like somebody I can get cool with, and then when we started talking more and more, I still didn't think okay, this is the one, but it was like, she's different. I mean,
based on her thoughts she was posting.
Yeah, and then when we actually started talking and texting, especially in the time where I was in the DMV, I was in college, it was a whole different, the girl's mindset and what the priorities was so different. And I think the biggest thing, at least for me too, they was never challenging of me either. It was like they just went along. They thought I had it figured out.
Right.
And I didn't have it figured out. So I was the blind leading the blind. But her, she would challenge. I mean, she won't take, you just can't tell her anything.
Okay, that's
And
good.
I don't know. It was, so we started talking everything. I knew it was different, but I didn't think that she was the one right away at all.
And what was your mindset, Charday, when you sent the emoji and started hanging out and talking to him initially? How did you feel? Did you feel like, yo, this is somebody I could kick it with for a minute? Or you was like...
No, I wasn't thinking that way either. Because it's Twitter. So I was just single. And I was like, oh, well, he was interested. So he's like, oh, who wants to talk? I really was bored. He was You was like drunk.
I probably
think.
drunk.
I
We
was
used to
high.
be drunk all the time, man. I used to be me
I
and my guys.
smoked, so I was like, all right, well, I'm bored too. So I sent them the emoji eyes. And then what he was, it was certain things that he was saying on Twitter that I noticed that he was more intelligent. So that was interesting. But other than that, I didn't really pay him that much mind on there. I don't really pay much mind to any people that I don't really know on Twitter that much unless they're talking directly to me sometimes, like, or saying things specifically. Like, he wasn't really saying things like giving out
Advice or nothing.
thoughts really per the day. It was more like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, kind of. It was thoughtful things here and there, but it wasn't nothing I could get off of. So when I was talking to him, then I was like, oh, okay, he has plans, he's like this, he's like that, da, da, da. It was intriguing, I would say, is how it started.
Decent. That's decent. The interest level was there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, in 2018, how would y'all suggest someone meeting online? Just look at their thoughts and assess them like, oh, okay, that's like a little tipping point of what their intelligence is? Or did you be like, yo, that's a smoking person, like,
if
you
you're
still
going to, I think you should definitely pay attention to what they're saying. And I wouldn't say like that's the best way. I wouldn't know the best way to talk to somebody on social media. I honestly don't. Like, at this point in my life, if I was then single, I wouldn't try to talk to somebody on social media. Like, I wouldn't try to. But it was just like, oh, I'm doing nothing, whatever. And then next thing you know, it seemed like I knew him or something. So, but if I were to probably have been paying attention to what he was saying on Twitter and all that other stuff, I probably wouldn't even have been as interested in the first place. Like, I would see stuff, like I would have seen things that's like, oh, I don't really want somebody who's saying this, or who's talking to these people, or who does this on his free time or whatever. So, but when I was talking to him after he already had my number, it was like, okay, this, but this, that, but that, yeah, this, but that. Like, it was like, okay, like, it was stuff that I didn't like, but it was also stuff that I did like, and it wasn't so black and white, like, okay, I'm just not interested and I don't even know you, versus, I kind of like you, and I don't like that, but like, if I would have paid attention, it probably wouldn't even have happened. We wouldn't be sitting here.
Right. So you would say that.
So I would say there's not really any advice to dating on social media.
Well, paying attention, I think.
But if you do pay attention and you really don't like, so if you're a particular person who's searching, then you should definitely look on somebody's thing, because that you're gonna know everything.
Right. I think social media now is the new bars, the new malls. So as you would to approach somebody in a place outside, then first, of course, it's attraction, but then you get to know them. Social media is just the accelerated course. And if you honestly pay attention every time you're on Twitter, when they're on Twitter, when they're saying what they're doing on their pictures, like, it's just them taking a selfie in the bathroom, or they actually got goals, or trying to do something, or trying to uplift. You can get so much right away that if you just pay attention, I think it can help. If you find somebody that you think you might click with, go ahead, shoot your jumper, see what happens. Especially if you find somebody that you have something in common with, that's always a good start. And social media just connects so many different avenues of people that you might not see in your day-to-day, because you might catch the bus 15 minutes before them. So I think that's pretty dope on that aspect. But I guess my advice would be piggybacking off of Deezy's, pay attention. And, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like when it comes to Twitter or Instagram or Facebook,